Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Karen Pelka, and I'll be speaking with Brent Gillette. Today's show is sponsored by Blue Water Developmental Housing. Welcome, Brent, to Spotlight.
Thanks, Karen. It's good to be here.
I love that we're going to talk about something that happened 100 years ago. The idea of 1924, a lot of things happened.
Absolutely. You know, we're very proud of the fact that this is our 100th anniversary and that we share it with so many other organizations. You know, I think about our community and, you know, back then how things got done. And I can only imagine some business leaders in a kind of dark room with a couple of cigars and a drink in hand and saying, we need to address some things.
Yeah. And
one of those things was United Way.
Wow, you know, United Way really helps the community, and we have different segments of United Way, and ours is St. Clair County's United Way for the whole county. And so I'm so grateful that we have this here for 100 years, because they say, you know, if you can make it past 5 years, you know, you're going to succeed, but to make it to 100 years. So we're
absolutely. I feel very fortunate and honored that I get to run an organization that is a proven organization and has tested the time. 100 years is a long time to be in business and providing kind of the same platform.
Really?
You know, our whole idea is to bridge the gap for those that have some resources to help and share in the community to those that may reach out for a helping hand.
So how do they, what kind of examples are those that United Way helps?
Well, when you think of United Way, there's three pillars that we have. One, we're a local organization. Every United Way is local and autonomous to each other. So ours is St. Clair County. We're volunteer driven, so we have volunteers throughout the whole community that are making things happen. And then we're transparent and accountable, and that means that we have a group of volunteers that look after my gift. As a citizen, I give to United Way, and I have a group of 25 people that look after my gift to make sure it's spent wisely, make sure it's spent on current needs. Because if you think about 100 years ago, the issues were a whole lot different than they are today. And today we have 22 different agencies that provide 40 different programs to the citizens of our community. And it's a very broad scope and broad brush of organizations, from, you know, helping our young kids succeed. We know that we have issues with reading deficiencies in our community, to our young families that sometimes struggle just because things aren't working out, and they have stresses and those type of things, all the way to our elderly that sometimes have to make tough decisions on whether or not I stay in my home, pay for my prescriptions, those different things, to even end of life, you know, finishing out your life with dignity, and some of the programs that are available for that.
So do you need anything specific, you know, you found through this time, because you've only been with United Way quite a few years, but you know, not that 100 years.
I'll say I look pretty good for 100 years old. Huh?
So how can the community help you?
Well, really, there's a variety of ways. You know, you can give time, treasure, and talent. When you give time, we have a group of volunteers that are outstanding. We've got some that come to our office on a weekly basis and spend a whole day doing clerical work, filing, all those different things. I have a young man that comes in every week, and he's our grounds person, make sure everything is cleaned up and so on. That all takes care of administrative costs, so we can put more money into services.
Sure.
And so, you know, and then when you figure, you know, your talent, there's a lot of talented people in our community. We have doctors and lawyers and school teachers and those that are on our board helping direct how our United Way is going to look in the next 100 years, and so on. And then the most important part, and that is the treasure, the resources. It costs money to provide services. It costs money to bring in that top level of what I call the blue ribbon services community, to provide those services to the people that reach out for that helping hand.
So how do they get a hold of you for people that want to provide time, talent, or treasure?
Well, it's pretty easy. We've, you know, over 100 years, we've been able to do some great things.
Yes.
We've got workplace campaign. So if you work in any of the businesses in our community, we usually have a relationship with that business owner, that management team, that corporation that allow you to give through them. And that's the easiest way. It's payroll deduction, a little bit each week. You really don't feel it. And by the end of the year, you've given a nice gift. But it's the strength of that whole community pulling together in a united effort
Right.
But there's other ways. You can go to our website. It's uwstclair.org.
Okay.
And there's a donate button there. There's also opportunity to sign up for volunteer opportunities
Okay,
and
right
so
there.
on. Or you can come to our office. We're at 1723 Military Street. We've been there for about 60 years now.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a wonderful building. It's an old Victorian home that was donated to us, and we've turned it into our office space, and it's a great place to come and visit if you have nothing better, or want to find us and just come see us.
Yeah, and kind of get a little more information.
Absolutely.
I do know that some corporate organizations that if they can get 100% of their employees to do that payroll deduction, they actually give benefits to their employees. I've heard of those
Absolutely.
kind of things.
There's a variety of ways and campaigning techniques, best practices, and so on. We've been so blessed with great leaders, great corporate leaders, partners, and ambassadors in our community. When I think about back in 1924, it was Mr. Sperry, who you see his name on the building, was
Really?
our board chair, helping direct our campaign and direct where United Way is. And through the time, a lot of names that come up, like Marsh Campbell, Mr. Molk, and today we've got Sheriff Matt King leading our charge. So we are been so blessed with great leadership in our community, helping us, make it easy for people to bridge that gap.
Right, and so we're going to celebrate 100 years on Wednesday, September 4th.
Correct.
And we'll be seeing things about that. People should mark their calendar and really celebrate 100 years.
We'd love them to come out and celebrate with us and see all the great things. We're partnering with the museum, and the museum is bringing up a lot of information. As not a local boy here, this has been so interesting to me to see how it's all unfolded in 100 years and who are the main players and how things worked. Another really cool example is the fact that there were 5 United Ways in St. Clair County back in the day. Now, they weren't called United Way. If you think about it, United Way went through a lot of transitions. It was Community Chest. Then when the war was out, it was the War Chest. Then it was the United Fund. Today, it's United Way, but the mission's the same. It's still about helping people, connecting folks together. But when you think about some of the buildings and some of the businesses that were in town, they were all connected to this movement and helping shape it for the whole 100 years we've been here.
This is really exciting. So thank you so much for coming here, and we look forward to celebrating with you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to invite folks to come out and celebrate with us.
For sure. And thank you for joining us on Spotlight.